Hello, my friends. It's me, Christiana Gaudet. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother, and it is time for Global Tarot Circle. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm very excited to see all of you. I'm especially happy to see our channel members here, Melanie, Kim, Happy Rose, Karen Winkle. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you as subscribers. I appreciate my channel members. I appreciate those of you who are here for the first time. And I appreciate those of you who are watching in archive. This will be an hour-long tarot meetup. Most of you, I think, are familiar with the format. We will spend the first half hour doing readings. This is a wonderful opportunity to get a reading. It's also a good opportunity to practice your reading skills. And hey, I see some other people here. Sarah, Clumsy Clairvoyance, nice to see you all. Glad that you're here. So, we get to practice our reading skills. Here's how this will work. First of all, I would like all of you to let us know where in the world you are and what deck you're using. I'm here in Palm City, Florida, and tonight I seem to be using Lightseer's Tarot. I know that's a very popular deck, and with good reason. I really enjoy it a great deal. I know a lot of you do too. So let us know where in the world you are and what deck you're working with. Now, Mystics Haven totally is on board with this and knows what to do. If you have a burning question, something you would like to ask a room full of tarot readers, all you have to do is ask your question. What's going to happen is I will answer your question with a single card reading, and then anyone else who would like to will also do the reading. So if you ask a question, make sure you not only listen to what I have to say, make sure you read all the way through and see everybody's answer and put it together. So that way, you are getting sort of this big, full reading from people all over the world. Now, for those of you who are doing readings, this is a great practice in doing a single card reading, which is not always the easiest thing, and also in working quickly, and this does move quickly. I am, of course, able to do this verbally more quickly than you can type. Don't worry if you want to do every other one, if you just want to do the ones you are drawn to, that's perfectly okay. And we do ask that you put your answers in a specific format, which will be the name of the person you're reading for, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And so we'll do that for the first half hour or so. And then after that, we will have another half hour where we will talk about all things tarot. We've already had a request to talk about reversals, specifically for people who have not been working with reversals, but now feel called to. What are ways to integrate that into your practice? So that's one thing that we will be working with. Any questions you have at all about tarot, don't do them now, but I'll open up the floor for them in about half an hour. And that can be a question about a deck, about a particular card, about a technique, about a reading that you've done that you didn't understand, anything at all. All right, let me go through and just say hi to some people who have let us know where in the world you are and what deck you're working with. We've got Wendy, who is Makeup and Fashion Insomnia in Oklahoma, working with Star Tarot. That is such a great deck. We have Disco Bunny, who is Kristen in Connecticut, working with the Crow Tarot. We have one of our members, Karen Winkle, in Vancouver, Washington, with Everyday Witch. We have Melanie, another member, in Chicago, using the Los Scarabeo Pagan Cats Mini. Perfect. We've got Robin Levine, my good friend and neighbor in Palm City, Florida, Modern Witch. Kim Morse, another member of this channel, Port Richey, Florida, using the Gilded Tarot Royale. What a great deck. Clumsy Clairvoyance, another channel member in the high desert of California using the Star Spinner Tarot. We've got Horse Fan Dunn, so nice to see you, in high desert, New Mexico. Chriswell is here from Deerfield Beach using the Ator Tarot by Robin Ator. Happy Rose, who is also a member of this channel, right outside of New Orleans using the Star Tarot, a popular deck tonight. Hey, Claire C., another member of this channel, so nice to see you. I Am She in Dallas using the Honest Truth Tarot. I'm not familiar with that deck. Sounds good. Dave Victor, Deerfield Beach, Florida, using the RWS. Let's see. Mystics Haven is in Georgia using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And here come some questions. I also do want to say Claire C., again, a channel member in Bradenton, Florida with Lightseers Tarot. Yay. And Norma, nice to see you, from Newport Richey, Florida, working with Lightseers. Betty Flesher, a member of this channel, Gilded Tarot in West Virginia. La Morena, so nice to see you. Glad you're here. All right, and so happy to see all of you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it if you like this video. If you're here for the first time, I would love it if you subscribe. And I did turn on Super Chat. If you want to do that, that's cool. If you don't, that's okay too. And of course, if you have not yet become a member of this channel and would like to, there are some cool perks, some extra videos. If you can, great. Really appreciated. If you can't, that's okay too. Just so happy to have you as part of our community. And I think most of you know this by now. But the way I work, I do not give, channel members get perks for sure, but I do not give priority in terms of reading or conversation. I don't give priority to channel members. I try to do things in the order that I see them. So if I'm not taking you in the order that I saw you, it is probably because I screwed up my scroll, and just let me know and I'll try to unscrew it up. Because, you know, that it seems to have a better flow of conversation if I just take it in the order I see it. And I thank you all so much for being here. Okay, let's get started. Those of you who are ready to do readings, get those decks shuffled. We are going to get started. And again, for those of you in archive, watching the playback, you're not going to be able to ask a question, but you might hear something that resonates for you or that you find interesting. Please feel free to leave a comment. And I do want to remind everyone that we have a class. We're doing Healing with Tarot this coming Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can see the link for it already here. So just go ahead and hit for the reminder so you can join us Saturday at 10:30. And of course, I will be back here tomorrow at noon with your Friday weekly wrap-up. I haven't put the link up for that yet, but I will. I promise I will. All right. The first question I see is Mystics Haven. I'm still separated from my spouse. What outcome in regards to the future status of our relationship is for the highest good of all involved? All right, if you would like to do this reading at Mystics Haven, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, let's see what we see. The Three of Wands reversed. You know, this says to me that even if you might consider reconciliation, even if you might want reconciliation, that would be hard to do. There are problems here that are not your fault and may not be fixable by you. So when we talk about choice of outcome, you may not have a choice. Okay. Let me scroll on down and find the next question. Okay, for Wendy, makeup and fashion insomnia. What's my next step in my spiritual journey? If you would like to do this reading at Makeup and Fashion Insomnia, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Next step in the spiritual journey. The Eight of Wands reversed. What I'm seeing here is the next step is not to move quickly. The next step is to find what you can find in stillness, to sit where you are right now and go deeper. Go deeper where you are. Okay, Horse Fan Done, so happy to see you. What does the universe have to tell me? If you would like to do this reading, at Horse Fan Done, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Let's see what we got going on here. The Four of Pentacles reversed. So the way I would see this is you have to think about where is it appropriate for you to have boundaries with yourself and with others, and where can you loosen up a little bit? There may be places that those boundaries are so incredibly important, but there also may be times and places where loosening up is the right thing. All right. Next question. What did I just do there? Here we go. Got it. Karen Winkle, nice to see you. Will my husband be able to successfully pivot his business in response to insurance restrictions? What a pain in the butt does that sound like? I'm so sorry you're going through that. If you'd like to do this reading at Karen Winkle, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Let's see what we got going on here. 10 of Pentacles. Yes, yes, yes. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yes, he will be able to do it. No worries. He has to do it, but he'll be fine. Okay. Next one, Clumsy Clairvoyance. I've been feeling really jaded or just stagnant the last few days. How should I shake myself out of this funk? All right. If you'd like to do this reading at Clumsy Clairvoyance, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. How can we get rid of the funk? My goodness. Let's see. Six of Swords reversed. You know, it feels like there's a reason for this funk. That maybe something is coming to light, something deeper, some deeper emotional, psychic, or spiritual thing that you need to ponder, that you need to sit with, that you need to kind of figure out and use in your growth. So it may be that you don't just want to shake it off. It may be that instead of shaking it off, you want to go in and learn from it. There may be something here to learn. Okay, hey, Sarah, station member, nice to see you in Miami, Florida, using Hawaiian Mana cards today. Cool. And here's a question from Sarah. I took a few days off before I started a new project at work. What should I do with my time off? If you would like to do this reading at Sarah, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, what should she do with her time off? And the answer is Wheel of Fortune reversed. Do not go gambling. And in fact, don't do anything risky. That's what I would say. I feel like you need to rest. You need to rejuvenate. You need to take care of yourself. And maybe, though, do something you haven't done before. Not something that you normally do, but nothing risky. All right. Hey, Marion K. Tarot, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Smile Soul 20, station member, nice to see you. Okay, here's a question from Norma. In June, when I meet up with someone, how will that turn out? Is there a love connection here? All right. If you would like to do this reading at Norma Bringwire, hope I pronounced that correctly, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Let's see what we got here. Five of Swords reversed. It won't be terrible. You may find that there are some areas of connection, but I would say let us not assume it will be romantic. There will be an opportunity, though, to get to know each other and take it from there. Hey, Libra girl, nice to see you here. Okay, so here's how it works. Really appreciate your being here. Hope you subscribe. What you do is if you have a burning question, go ahead and post your question. I will do a 1-card reading, and then everyone else who's here with cards will also pull a card for you. And so you'll have to scroll through and see other people's answers, put it all together, and you get a full reading done by a group of tarotists from all over the world. Okay, and remember, put the name of the person, the card, and your interpretation. Okay, and I see a lot of great readings already happening. Very good, very good. Thank you so much for participating. Okay. Hey, Ashley, nice to see you. Okay, nice to see all of you doing readings. Thank you so much. And here is Libra Girl's question. What are his feelings toward me in separation? If you would like to do this reading, at Libra Girl, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Lover's reversed. He's definitely aware of the separation. But my thought is, I think he thinks that the separation is probably good for both of you. Now, that doesn't necessarily speak to what the future might be or what he's thinking for the future. But right now, the separation is something he seems to be appreciating in some way. All right. Happy Rose, nice to see you. Glad that you are here. And Happy Rose is a channel member. We really appreciate that. How to help my partner move through his stress and overwhelm. Great question. If you'd like to do this reading, at Happy Rose, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The 4 of Cups, he's in it, isn't he? And the thing is, no matter how much you try to help, you know, what do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I almost feel like he's going to have to deal with this on his own in his own way. And so I would say, don't try to shake him out of it. Provide him with the things that you can provide him with that make him more comfortable, and give him a little time and space to get through this. Hey, John Haas, we are all here. So happy to see you. And lots of people doing some great readings. Thank you so much for all this. Okay, Ms. Silver, nice to see you. I'm over 50, not sure what type of job to apply for. I'm unskilled, unqualified for most things. Any suggestions for type of work? Great question. If you'd like to do this reading, at Ms. Silver 41, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, what might be a good job? I got 7 of Cups reversed. And the thing is, we could make an entire list of the things that you're not qualified for. But there are things you are qualified for. And you know what I'm thinking is being like a companion to someone, not someone with medical needs, but just someone who needs a companion. Someone to help them shop or someone to keep them company or that kind of thing. I think you would be very good at that. I also think that you would be very good at any job that sort of involves interfacing with the public, customer service, that kind of thing. You are good with people. That's the point. You are good with people. You are good with conversation. You are good at staying patient, even under difficult circumstances. Those are superpowers, and I think you could use those. Okay. Okay, Samantha, is everything okay? That's an interesting question. In your life, in our life, in everybody's life, is everything okay? I think we're going to make this be about your life. So glad that you're here. So happy to see you here today. Looking forward to seeing you in person next month. Here's the question. Is everything okay? If you would like to do this reading, at Samantha79, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Nine of Swords reversed. It doesn't feel okay, but it will be okay. That's the important thing. You'll get there and it will be okay. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Looking at some great readings. Okay. Style and Chica, burning question. I've been receiving the message to become friends with the unfamiliar. Any messages coming through regarding that? All right. I love that question. At Style and Chica, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Becoming friends with the unfamiliar. What do we get? The Tower reversed. So here's the thing. Some things are unfamiliar because you should stay away from them. Some things are unfamiliar because they're scary, but really it would be good to get to know them. I'm really even thinking the spiritually unfamiliar, to almost broaden your horizons. You know, you are so psychic, you're so spiritual, to broaden your horizons that way. Okay. So this is a fun one. Santiago. What amount is more likely to be paid for the lot of land I want to sell? 4K, 5K, or 6K? Okay. However you want to do it, let's give it a try. At Santiago Espinoza, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. I got the Hermit reversed, so I'm going with the 5 or 6, not the 4. Don't even ask me how I did that math, but that's where I'm going. Okay, Disco Bunny, summer fun. What's in store for me? I know what's in store for you. Come to Omega. A lot of you should do this, right? The Masters of Tarot Conference at Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York, July 23rd through 25th. Mary Greer, Rachel Pollack, Madame Pamita, Shaheen Miro, and yours truly. We are going to rock it with some amazing tarot stuff. So that's what I think you should do, Kristen. Seriously. Now, let's do this reading. What do we see for the summer fun for Disco Bunny? At Disco Bunny, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. I got the 9 of Wands reversed. I feel like you can't be waiting for things to happen. You got to go make them happen. Don't wait for people to ask you to do things. You do the asking. You make the plans. You make it happen. Oh, and so Samantha, I'm going to do this one because I didn't understand that wasn't your question, I guess. So I usually won't do more than one question from a single person in a session, but I'm going to do this because I may have misunderstood Samantha. More specific question from Samantha. At Samantha79, will I be successful in my home and career goals? If you'd like to do this reading, go ahead. You know what to do. Queen of Wands, you absolutely can. Yes. Okay. Claire C. Will things run smoothly on my first voyage with my camper? Man, I remember what that feels like. Oh, gosh. Let's take a look. If you'd like to do this reading, at Claire C., the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Will things go smoothly on the first voyage with the camper? And the answer is Temperance. I think it'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Just make sure, like, you have that stabilizing bar. Make sure you have the stabilizing bar right, and you'll be good. Okay. Okay. I am just reading right through, looking at all these wonderful readings. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Hey, Peggy Lou, nice to see you. Okay. Barrett, nice to see you. Okay. Okay. So at this point, the floor is still open for questions. I feel like I have seen and answered every question, and people are still doing readings. If I accidentally missed your question, I'm so sorry. Please reiterate it now. If you're here and have not yet asked a question, please do. And I'm also now going to open the floor for questions about tarot. So right now, the floor is open both for questions for readings and questions about tarot. Anything at all about tarot, tarot techniques, different decks, different cards, how we see different cards, a particular reading you did that didn't make sense, anything at all, go ahead and ask. And the floor is open for your questions at this time. I will also take this moment to remind you that we do have a free class this Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That means people on the West Coast, I'm talking to you, Karen Winkle, have to roll out of bed early, but we're doing healing with tarot. That's a great topic. So I do want to remind you to, yes, Disco Bunny, come into Omega. Yeah, Google it. It's E Omega. That's how you find it. It's not just Omega, E Omega, but just you can look up Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, the Masters of Tarot. So, Kim, if you can't think of a question, you can always ask. What does the universe want me to know? Wendy, I'd love to see you at Omega. That would be so cool. Okay. And here comes some tarot questions. So, Samantha, best way to answer yes or no questions when they're email readings and not face-to-face. So, we all have our own way of dealing with yes and no, and there are some people who will say it just can't be done. We often talk about this here, and that's because it's not an easy thing. Anyone want to answer this? How would you do a written and emailed yes or no question? Tag it yes or no. And honestly, the way I do it is I will just ask the question and pull a card and see if the card speaks to it and answers it. If not, I'll pull a few more cards and I'll get information about the situation. Sometimes there is not a clear yes or no, and what you have to do is just give the picture, give the background. If this happens, this is what it's going to look like. If you do this, it's going to be like this. If you do that, it's going to be like that, but you may need to think about this, this, and this. And if you can give them a big enough picture, that will satisfy them whether or not you were able to give a clear yes or no. Okay. So let's see. Here's a question from Style and Chica. Tarot question. Do different decks... Oh, man, this is a loaded question, La Morena. Are you still here? Do different decks channel different energies, or is it the same higher self that comes through, but different decks help to say new things? That is an anyone's guess question. Tag it different decks. What do you think? For me, there is tarot. There is the tarot corpus, and it doesn't matter if you're reading with tarot dice, tarot decks, any tarot deck, 78 pieces of numbered notebook paper, it doesn't matter. You may feel like you get better or different readings with different decks just because of how the decks affect you, but I feel like the energies that are working through the cards are still the same. That's just me. Up to you. Okay. I am sorry, Karen. I try not to do too many early mornings. Okay, lots of great readings. Okay, so this is an interesting question from Chriswell. Tarot history question. What type of deck might someone from the Theosophical Society be using close to the year 1900? Any tarot historians here? I would have to say either Solabusca or Marseille. I would have to say, but I don't know. I am not a good historian. And so if anyone has an answer to that, tag it history and let us know. Okay, and here's a reading for Kim. Kim Morris. What does the universe want me to know? Hey, great idea. Where'd you get the idea for that? If you would like to do this reading at Kim Morris, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Emperor reversed. You don't have to do what other people say. You just have to follow your own heart. End of story. Okay. And another question from Good Vibes. Will Ibrahim and I come back together soon? If you'd like to do this reading at Good Vibes, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Eight of Swords reversed, not necessarily. I feel like there's a lot that would need to be talked about and worked out first. Okay, here comes another question. Has anyone seen the movie The Red Violin? Yes, I loved that movie. It has tarot intertwined in the story, and I was so confused about one of the tarot card stories, The Hanged Man. You know, it was like literally like decades ago when I saw this movie. So I don't remember. If anyone has seen it more recently and has something to say about that, go ahead. And Betty, if you want to just tell us what the vignette was, perhaps we could help, even if we haven't seen it or, like me, don't remember it. And Disco Bunny says that she wouldn't do the yes/no. She doesn't like them, but she does like doing written readings. I do not like doing written readings, I got to tell you. Hey, Marin K. Tarot has a tarot question. I was doing a reading for a friend about her relationship and the guy's parents. All of a sudden, my closest guide came through and warned me not to go there. Have you had that happen before? Any advice? Interesting question. Tag it, don't go there. And I have. That they're like, you know, when we're reading for other people, whether casually or formally, hobbyist or professional, friend or family or client, whatever, we have to first do no harm. And, you know, you can say, well, you know, the universe won't show you anything that you don't want to see, but that's not really true. And so if you get the sense not to go there, whether that's coming specifically from a guide or just from you yourself or whatever, I think you have to honor it. I think you have to find a way to politely sort of change the topic and say, you know, and there's a lot of ways to do that. You can directly say, you know, for some reason, I am just not comfortable doing that reading. Is there a different question? Or you can pivot it by saying, you know, so are you having particular issues here? Do you need advice on how to handle a particular situation with these people? And talk about the situation, something of that nature. Okay, Santiago, tarot question. So I've written about this and I've done videos about this. This is a question I like to talk about. What cards do you identify as queer or LGBT? Can you give a hint about this? My answer to you is, what cards do you identify as straight? Any card can talk about any person. And, you know, it's, so how do you, like, if, you know, and when would that be a question, right? So if you're talking to someone and they're struggling with their own identity issues, it's going to come up as a question of identity. And you might see it as gender identity or orientation identity. What would make you think that? What if it were the Fool, the Moon, the Ace of Wands all together? You might think about a sexual or gender identity question. If it's someone else asking if someone is gay, we're really not here to come out for people. Now, there are times it's pertinent, though. My husband and I, this is not my life. This is just, a question I've had at the table before. My husband's a little not right with me in the bedroom, and I wonder what's up. And if I pull cards and what I see is a lot of male cards, I'm going to say maybe he would actually prefer a guy and doesn't know it. So it's going to be specific to the specific question. And, the same way you would discover if someone was straight, really. So look at, if someone is having an issue with, I'm uncomfortable with my orientation, that might be Hierophant because it's non-traditional, right? So a good exercise is just to go through your deck and think about how could each of these cards talk about different issues around orientation or identity and play with it that way. Anyone else have any thoughts about that? Please go ahead and share. Okay. From Norma, is there something we should be doing in order to enhance our third eye, to feel good about the reading you provide? I'm not quite sure I understand your question. Are you saying right here in this context, what to do to be open to the reading that is being provided for you here? Are you saying as a reader? I'm confused by your pronouns here in that what we should do to enhance our third eye to feel good about the reading you provide. So are you talking about your own readings that you do for yourself, for others, the readings we're doing for you here? I am so sorry, I'm not getting it. Could you please reiterate that question? I'm sorry. Okay, and here is another, and we are coming to the end of our requests for readings, but let's do this one for sure, because it's Peggy Lou. Will Billy and I take a road trip this summer to Tennessee to see his kids and the grandchildren? If you'd like to do this reading, at Peggy Lou Leven's, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. 5 of Wands reversed. That's an interesting thing. I'm going with probably, but a little unclear. Let's see what other people have to say. And so as regards tarot decks, Norma says, I think the right tarot deck kind of calls you or how you feel about it when using it. So you feel like it's a personal connection between you and the deck. Melanie, regarding different decks. The artist matters. I have one deck that's very angry, and so you feel that from the artist. Wendy, makeup and fashion insomnia. I find different energies from different decks. So the question is, though, what is the source of that energy? Is that how you react to the art? Is that, as Melanie says, coming from the artist? Or is there some spiritual difference there? It's an interesting question. Okay, from Disco Bunny, Kristen, I think the cards are just paper. I have a best friend who thinks the opposite and says the decks interact differently with him. It's a great question. Everyone experiences it differently. There's no right or wrong answers here. Okay, so Peggy Lou, you agree Marseille would have been the deck. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Dave, I did not see your question. Could you reiterate the question? I'm so sorry, I just didn't see it. And anyone else, if there's a question I didn't see, I apologize, just reiterate. Clumsy clairvoyance regarding different decks. I feel it's a personal vibe with the deck. We feel more comfortable and confident with the deck then. Perhaps we do convey the message with more confidence and reassurance. Sure. Okay, Betty Flusher, the story about the little boy from the monastery and he died before his big audition before the king. And that card was the Hanged Man. I would say so often the Hanged Man is about the things you can't control. And so something like that, where there's a plan and it goes awry, there are some things you just can't control. Vonda McCoy, nice to see you. Okay, so we'll do this reading. Vonda needs advice. She's sad. If anyone would like to do this reading, at Vonda McCoy, the name of the card, your interpretation, justice. It feels like you're sad because something unfair has happened, or something that feels unfair, or something that feels out of balance. I think the best that you can do is, if there is a way to bring balance to the situation, if there is a way to make it more fair, then do it. If there's a way to seek justice, then do it. If there's not, remember that it'll all be okay in the bigger picture, if not in the smaller picture. Okay. And okay, so Norma, your question is, as a reader, what to do with your third eye? Okay, that's a great question. Anyone want to talk about the third eye? Go ahead and tag it third eye. To anoint it with certain essential oils can be really good. To do third eye meditations can be really good. And the thing is, I think tarot is a particularly good medium because it works with the third eye, because the third eye is eyesight, imagination, and psychic vision. We use all three of those when we work with tarot, and that's just a wonderful thing. Okay. Okay, let's see. So I've got a sense of Dave's question now, just looking at the answers here. So I'll go ahead and do a card for that too. At Dave Victor, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, judgment. There is something here about having communication, putting the past in the past and having communication, whatever that means. Okay, from Horace Van Dunn, regarding don't go there. Sometimes energy is not to be divulged. Perhaps karmic blockage has to do with the questioner having to discover in time. Sure. Okay, lots of readings here for Peggy Lou, for Dave, very good, for Marion. And as far as daily meditation and habits, Norma, I would say, yeah, same. Third eye meditation, and anointing. I really like the anointing of the third eye with essential oil is very, very good. Okay, Peggy Lou, I just got the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, and the majors start with the World and end with the Pilgrim. Oh, good God. And they're numbered that way, and is the Pilgrim supposed to be the Fool? Do you like the deck? Yeah, Marion said regarding the historic decks, right, TDM, Solabusca, and perhaps the Attilia. I was wondering about that too. Different decks from Kim. I just got 3 new decks in the last week, so I'm trying each out to see if I get a different vibe. So far, they feel the same. Chriswell, different decks. Generally, some things different on a particular card will jump out a different symbol, like the shattered stained glass imagery common on Urban Tarot, something like that. Right. Betty, tarot decks. I think your intuition sometimes guides you to the right deck for a particular reading. Okay, tarot question reversals. We have not covered this yet, but we absolutely will. And, this is a good one from Betty regarding the third eye. I hear some people rub turmeric on the third eye, and some say take vitamin K2 to clear the pineal gland. That's all good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. Do I have a favorite essential oil for the third eye? So I'm a lavender girl. I am all about lavender. That That's just me, though. You might have one you like better. All right, so now let's talk about reversals. And the specific question is, if you don't read reversals, you've been working not with reversals for the longest time, but then decide you want to add reversals into your practice, what would you like, what would you do? How would you do that? What advice would you have for someone doing that? Go ahead and tag it reversals. And here's what I would say. And this is for anyone, even if you're a beginner just learning reversals. Think about the reversal as simply changing the energy of the card or adding to the energy. And that could happen in any number of ways. It could just tell you to pay more attention to the card. It could put it in the past. It could put it in the future. It could say that you're avoiding the energy of that card. It could suggest the opposite of that card. It could make it stronger, like you really need to do this. And so to just check in with yourself intuitively, when the card appears reversed, check in with yourself intuitively to say, what is that reversal doing for me right now? Think about it in the context of the question. Think about it in the context of the other cards around, and just use it as a sign to check in and say, okay, what extra energy do I want to see in this card? And see where that takes you. Other thoughts about how to add reversals in, go ahead and tag it reversals. Any other thoughts about the third eye? Now, when we talk about third eye meditation, I really recommend breathing into the third eye. And, the thing is, there's a couple of things that can hurt the third eye when you're doing readings. One is to be afraid of your imagination, to be like, I don't want this to be my imagination. I want this to be an authentic thing. Imagination is what gets you there. So don't shut down your imagination. Claim your imagination. Breathe into the third eye. Claim your psychic vision. Claim your imagination. Claim yourself as a seer of visions. So you kind of have to breathe into the third eye and acknowledge your ability to do this. And remember that the color of the third eye is indigo. So breathing into the third eye and feeling and seeing that indigo energy expanding there. Okay. Hey, Ms. Silver, thank you so much. Santiago, do you recommend using different tarot decks in one reading? Sometimes a lot of cards have been used in a reading and there are still questions to answer. Now, what I will do is I'll answer a question, pick up the cards, shuffle, and ask again in the same reading. So I'm using the same deck. I'm just shuffling in between questions so I have all the cards. But if you want to use more than one deck, you sure can. Okay, Happy Rose. And if anyone wants to speak to that, to using more than one deck, please do. Oh, that's a good one, Peggy Lou. To lie down and put a crystal right here. Clear quartz is good. Angelite is good. Some kind of crystal here is a very good idea too. I love that. I love that. Okay. Happy Rose, reversals. Do you make your cards right side up before you do readings? Or if the cards are reversed, do they stay reversed for later readings? For me, they stay reversed. When I shuffle, I intentionally turn one half of the deck, just one little turn, to make sure there's plenty of reversals. Okay. Melanie, with the crossing cards on a Celtic cross, is there a way to see the cover card as reversed, right or left facing, or is it always one way or the other? So the thing is, the position itself is ill-dignified, right? So you don't have to think about a reversal, like technically the crossing card is never read reversed because the position itself, this is your biggest challenge. You're going to read it in a challenging way anyway. So technically, no, in my opinion. If you have a different way of doing that, go ahead and tag it crossing card and tell us. Okay, Karen Winkle, reversals, just do it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Think of ways the energy of the card could be altered, particularly being stuck, unable to move forward, opposite, bad mood, all of that. Oh, Betty, my forehead has been itching like crazy. Wonder if it means anything. Well, it could be a skin issue, but it could also be a third eye issue. For sure, it could be you getting to your next level of psychic connection. Marion, third eye. I had the experience where someone I love very much kissed me on my third eye, and it was so powerful. It was like my intuition got supercharged. That's beautiful. Okay. Okay, reversals. Read for 20 years, then added reversals maybe 3 years ago. It helps with reading with others, but not for me. I just went into it cold turkey, started using them. Now I'm writing reverse definition journal to help me clarify. Peggy Lou, I use rose quartz and amethyst on the third eye. As well to clear. Also incense and candles are a must. I love all that for the third eye. That is great. That's good stuff. Yeah, all those things are good. Any other ideas, like in terms of incense or candles or oils? What scent, what oil, what herbs, what flowers? I mean, as I said, I like lavender, but what other ones might you use? Go ahead and let us know. And you use the crystals for headaches too, Peggy Lou. Yeah, absolutely. You know, in the 80s, I used to take like medical adhesive tape and just tape crystals to parts of my body. Seriously. Yes, this is a good one from Kim Morris for the third eye. Wearing the chakra color can help. Wear an indigo scarf, absolutely. Or a stone that's an indigo color, like lapis maybe. Absolutely. Okay, we are in our final 9 minutes. Any other comments about any of our questions? Any new questions? We do have time. I don't want to do any more readings at this point, but tarot questions, we do have time to take others. Melanie, the girl from Chicago, reminds all the people in Florida that Florida water is a classic purifier. It sure is. A little Florida water right here, man. There you go. Absolutely, yes. Yes. Kristen, Disco Bunny, sage and lavender, sometimes copal. Yep, absolutely. And Peggy Lou, she puts it at the temples too, and sandalwood, Nag Champa, and patchouli. Absolutely. Betty at third eye, Moldavite incense. Don't know if it makes a difference. Sounds good to me, man. Sounds great. Okay, we do readings. Brown Sugar, thanks so much for being here. We do readings in the first half of our time together. As we get to the end, you'll have to come back and check us out next time. I'm so sorry. Okay. As we come to the end of our time together, the floor is still open for questions about tarot. Oh, Marion, for the third eye, keep some amethyst in your bra if you wear one. Uh-huh. Or, you know, if you could get one of those, like, things, I love those things, those, like, headpieces that'll hang a crystal right here. I've always wanted one of those. I think that would be so cool. Susie Zern has one of those, really cool thing. Right. So, I do want to remind you that we are 1 week away from our, is that true? What is today? Is today Thursday or Friday? Today's Thursday, yeah. We are 1 week away from our Zoom class. We are doing a class on Zoom next Thursday. We're doing magic, tarot magic, a 2-hour Zoom class, all the different ways we can use tarot in magic. Yes, indeed, the magic that we do in divination, the magic that we do in ritual, magic to banish, magic to attract, all of the magic that we can do with tarot. We are doing it in a 2-hour class on Zoom. You need a ticket. To get a ticket, you just have to go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com or christianagaudet.com. Go to the events, go to the date, get you your ticket, and come to class. Okay, would love to see you there. Samantha, I missed your question about how to figure out your card. Could you reiterate that? I'll go back and look for it, but if you wouldn't mind, if you could reiterate it, that would be so cool. And thank you, and I apologize for missing it. I'm just getting used to a new way of seeing your comments, and it is technically better, but it's got some problems. And no, does it have some problems? No, operator error, to be honest. So I am not, oh, here you go. Samantha, how do you figure out what card represents you? Okay, tag this significators. So there's a lot of ways to do this. And okay, so if you mean like the card that always represents you, like the card that is your personal significator, like I'm always the Queen of Wands. But as Karen mentions, there are birth cards. So you could find your major arcana card by birth, in which case I'm strength, right? You could find a card based on astrology. You could just find a card because you love that card and you say, oh, that's me. Now, in a reading, there may be a position, like my Celtic Cross, the first card out is who you are at this current moment. So that card will be your significator in that moment when I do the reading. So if it's a court card thing that you want, I would say you go with gender identity and age and the element of your sun sign. So for instance, I identify as female. I am an older woman, so I'm a queen. And my sun sign is Scorpio, so water, so I'm the Queen of Cups. Although I'm really the Queen of Wands, my rising sign is Leo. I prefer to go with my rising sign, so that's my preference. Right, so I'm the Queen of Wands. So I'm the Queen of Wands because I am female, identify as female. I'm an older woman, so queen. And rising sign Leo is sort of what I identify with, so Queen of Wands. My choice. That's how it is. And you use a pendulum to figure that out. Right, from our pendulum class. Very good. And floats with the pull, absolutely. And Betty goes with the zodiac sign as well, yes. So the element of your zodiac sign, if you're going to use court cards, age, gender identity, and astrological sign of your sun sign or perhaps rising sign if you prefer. Dave says, I'm always the Knight of Cups, even though I'm not a traditional Knight age anymore. The card just spoke to me years ago and I've felt close to it ever since. That can happen. The page is a younger female. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, if you're an older person and you feel like a knight or a page, that's fine. If you're a younger person, I made my 30-year-old son a king today just because he felt like a king. So a lot of it is just how you feel. Who's going to tell you you're wrong? If that's what you feel, if that's your card. I have a friend who's the 9 of Pentacles. That's just who she is. And it's a fun thing because if you have that card that you identify as your significator and you're reading for yourself, that card is going to start to come up in really poignant ways to let you know when you're on your right path. And if it comes up reversed, maybe you're not on your right path. For me, being a queen, if the Knight of Wands or the Page of Wands comes up, then I'm getting scolded by the cards. I'm being demoted, right? Because I did something immature, right? I'm being immature. Chris, well, you're the Knight of Wands. When not directly involved in a conflict, you're often looking to start one. Got it. And so you can choose based on how you feel it in a lot of ways. So I'm sorry I missed that question, Samantha. Thank you so much for reiterating it because it is a really good, important question. Friends, we are in our last minute. You know what that means? It's time for shameless self-promotion. Your Insta page, your website, your YouTube channel. How do you want people to follow you? You just kept getting the Page of Wands. That could be you. That could be the card saying, this is you. And then think about the Page of Wands and what that would be saying about you and how that would help you. Okay, go ahead and drop your shameless self-promotion right here, I will remind you to get my books on Amazon. Tarot Tour Guide and Fortune Stellar. Go to my website. You can make an appointment directly with me on my website. Remember, I'm going to be in Connecticut starting a week from tomorrow. I'll be there for a week. If you happen to be in Connecticut and want to see me, that's great. I'm going to be in the Tampa Bay area for a weekend in June. If you want to see me there, just reach out and schedule. Otherwise, if you want to schedule by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom, whatever, you can go to my website, find my contact info, or schedule directly there. Okay, I want to thank you all so much for being here. Betty says the significator in the Gilded Tarot Royale Queen of Cups has 2 dogs on it. Looks just like my 2 dogs, always comes up for me in that deck. So yeah, it could be deck specific, absolutely. Friends, I want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our members. If you have not subscribed, please do. And I'll see you here for class, 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Oh, how's the new book coming along? Oh, working on it? It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. It is. It is. It's going to be so awesome, man. It's going to be so awesome once it's finished. All right. Thank you all very much for being here. I really appreciate you. Remember to follow Marion K. Tarot on all things. Very good. I appreciate all of you. Brown Sugar, thank you for being here. Please come back next time. Please subscribe. Sorry we couldn't get to your reading today. We absolutely will next time. Take good care, everyone. I appreciate all of you so much. Have a safe and great evening, morning, day, wherever you are in the world. And I will look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.